TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Do you have one good road story from your career you could share?
Yeah, I'll tell you one that's kind of. I thought it was funny. There was three of us in the car. I forget who's driving, and then Harley was in the passenger side, and I was in the back. And we picked up this hitchhiker. So that when we picked up this hitchhiker, he had no idea what was going on. So I pretended like I was sleeping, And as we're going down the road, Harley and they're talking in the front about they had given me a sedative to knock me out because I had just escaped from a nut house asylum and for murder and all this stuff, and I had my hat down like this, and the guy, I'm here, and the guy is sitting here, and so this goes on for a while.
Yeah.
And the guy keeps looking over, and I can see out of the hat there. Pretty soon I caught his eye like that, and I went, and the guy goes, psst. He says, I think he's waking up. He's whispering. You don't want to startle me. He's going. Yeah. So now I'm moving over. I'm going like this. I'm moving over closer and closer, right? And he's going, psst, hey, this guy. Stopped at a stop sign. He grabbed his shit and jumped out of the car. He never looked back. All he seen was go down. I thought it was a funny joke.
That's a funny one. Did you ever talk to Harley about the night that he came with a gun to the WWF show? He was telling the boys he was going to shoot Vince.
No, I only heard bits and pieces of that, but Harley and I never discussed that. But I can tell you a story about Harley when we was in Minneapolis and we were tag team wrestling partners.
Okay. Sure.
And he walked into he was staying downtown, but I'd go home, because that's my home. We went to this restaurant, and there were some black guys in there, and they were beating up on this girl. I think she might have been a hooker or something. And Harley jumped right in the middle with them and beat the shit out of him. This other guy went out and got a knife and caught him in the back, stabbed him. And the knife hit his rib and back of the heart, Harley's, and it folded the knife up. Okay.
Wow.
That's how close he come to dying.
Yeah.
So I get a call, and I got to go to the hospital. I got to bring him clothes down there and everything. So Harley carried two guns in. He had a 45, and he had another gun. And Jesus, we go into the restaurant and eat because these guys. He was going to testify against these people.
Wow.
And they threatened his life. He had to send his wife out of town. Whatever.
Yeah.
So I told Harley, I said, you got to end this thing. I said, you're going to be in the ring. They're going to go to shoot you, and they're going to hit me.
Yeah.
He laughed, he said, but it got resolved. But just tell you what kind of guy he is. He stepped in the middle, and he stood up for what he thought and what he thought was right. So,
was Harley your favorite travel partner?
No, he was my travel partner, but he drove too fast for me. He'd drive on the freeway 75, and then he'd get on a 2-lane highway and drive 95. I said, what is the matter with you?
Yeah.
I got to tell you a story. One time we left in Tampa. We were at the Graham's wrestling office, and we were going to West Palm Beach to wrestle, okay? We got jumped in an airplane, and we flew to West Palm Beach, and Harley drove. When we got there, Harley was in the dressing room putting his shoes on. We flew, and he drove. He had a Corvette, and he had that motor taken out and put a bigger motor in. Scary driver was a meat boy. I said, hey, I got a family. I don't, you're way too fast for me, kid.
Yeah. Who did you like to travel with?
Oh, one of the best drivers. I qualify him as good drivers. Was Reggie Parks.
Okay.
He was a good steady hand. Rene Goulet.
Yeah, sure.
You know these people?
Yep.
They were good to travel with. Harley came to Minneapolis.
Oh, okay.
To do TV, and I saw him wrestle. And then a few months later, we were tag team partners, and 6 or 7 months later, we were world champions.
Wow.
So we connected. That was the pretty boy and the handsome Harley Race combination. So
yeah.
It worked.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you remember about the Little Funks, Dory Jr. and Terry at that time?
Well, they were just young kids, you know. They were just, but Jesus, that Terry, you know, he was a wild man. You know, even in college and heavy drinker. He was a real Texas. Dory Junior was a little more mild, a little more subdued. Yeah.
Wow. When you first started teaming with Harley, did you know you had something right away?
Yeah, we knew. Because here's the thing, you know, I weighed around 300 pounds, and Harley was about 235, whatever. But we never did the same things. I was more surface transportation, and he was more aerial transportation. So if we take those two combinations and you put them together, well, it was a great combination. And then the handsome Harley Race and the pretty boy, you know, that pissed a lot of people off, but didn't care. We had good chemistry, and to this day, he's my buddy. He's like a brother.
Yeah. Are you surprised that even to this day, how many fans still talk about, you know, pretty boy Larry Hennig and handsome?
Well, you know what's amazing? I'm in business in Minnesota, you know, and I go to the casinos and I go all over, and people still talk about Larry Hennig and handsome Harley Race. And, you know, we're talking about, I got out of the business in 1985, you know, so that's been a while, but people still remember. The only thing that made me a little upset, there was a guy about 80 years old at a casino. He came walking up to me on his walker, and he went, "Are you Larry? Used to be pretty boy?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "I used to watch you when I was a kid." I said, "Christ, how old do you think I am?" He said, he was 82, and he said he watched me as a kid.
Oh man, that's funny stuff. Did you get a chance to wrestle against Harley? Have fun?
Never wrestled her.
Oh, okay. Memories of touring Australia.
Oh, Harley and I went there.
Yeah.
And we had a good time. That's all I'm going to say about it. But we had a good time. And then Harley got in an argument with the promoter there. He was a Jewish guy. And
Jim Barnett?
Yeah, Barnett, yeah. Jim Barnett. So we didn't last long there. He made about his femininity and whatever. So
yes,
that's the end of that story. That oil and water certainly didn't mix there.
Yeah. No, and it's interesting because a lot of guys say they used to love touring Australia for Jim Barnett.
Yeah. Well, we loved going there. I mean, it was okay, but when you take a guy out of Missouri and you come and talking with that funny voice and telling him finishes, and Harley sitting there going, well, so they. Yeah. Anyway, we lasted about a month, I guess. A month. I loved Australia.
And you guys wrestled Mark Lewin and Dom DiNucci down there?
Yep. Yeah, there were quite a few, and then I think we wrestled them in Hawaii too. Don Lewin, I think they went there, and then some other place we rented them later on, maybe in New York or someplace. I don't quite remember now.
Did you like wrestling with those guys?
Yeah, they were. You know, if you draw money, fine. They were. Hey, they were good. They're good workers.
Yeah.
TitleMatchNetwork.com